So I've got a page, it's got some content in it, but what I really want to put here is an application, some kind of form or report or chart or who knows what. So now we're going to talk about how to get started with freeform applications and the things that you need to do. So first thing I'm going to need to do is I'm going to have to jump into SciPilot and start working on my page. So we created this page called Freeform Demonstration. And in it, it had a default HTML element that came with a template. But we don't really need that because we're going to create a dashboard or a application. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit my page, and I'm going to use my Contents tab so that I can throw away this one item that I've got in the page. And to do that, I can just select the item and I can select Cut. And that'll remove it and add it to my clipboard if I wanted to put it back in the page for some reason, but I don't. Now you remember the new item list we talked about? When we created our page under navigation, we had a new item list for navigation that had 3 things in it. Now I'm on a page and I've got a bunch of items in it. So these are all content related elements, things I want to display in the body of my page. So if I go back here and I think about my page, what's going to be in this section under the title? So I'm going to return here, and what I want to create now is a dashboard. All right, and a dashboard is a container. It's going to hold the parts of my form, my application, the things that I'm going to make make work on this page. In our world, you can have multiple dashboards on a page. You typically have one, and I always try to go and give them some kind of unique name. So I'm going to call this D-Demo dashboard. Right? So I've got a simple page. Now the other thing that we've got here is a configuration option I want to talk about. So we've got a layout of grid. And the grid attributes don't show up until you refresh this dashboard. So if you just click on the part here, it'll actually reload the page once, load the layout for grid, and then you can set up the grid for your dashboard. Now the reason we set up dashboards in a grid layout is because grids are easy to use. We'll cover grids in full detail in another video, but for almost all dashboards that I create, I always start with a simple grid configuration of 24 with 100% and then 24. And so what we're saying is my grid is going to span 24 columns. That's the default for all of our grid-based layouts. Each item in my grid is going to take up 24 columns by default, and if there are any sub-items, if I go deep and I've got nested grids, I want those sub-items to take up 100% of the width, which would be 24 columns. So I'm going to save this. Now I've got my first dashboard, my page. I can see it here in my sitemap. I can see it here in my page. And if I return and refresh my page now, I'll have nothing here. Great. I'm ready to go. So that's it for adding a dashboard to a page. Simple and easy.